Hi everybody, it's me, Novia of Guerilla Fluff, and today I'm going to start the first part of our Oh Junifer Waldorf doll sew along. Yay! Okay, so let's start off with what the things you will need to start your head formation, and that includes some wool batting. And this stuff isn't like the batting you would get at a craft store for quilts, not that kind of batting. It's really stuffing. I got mine from Eastern Earl or Earl Eastern Woolen Mill. I don't remember the exact name, I'm sorry, but I'll link it below for you guys. And it comes to you all carded and clean and lush and not in these little pieces like I have here. Come in huge wrapped up things like this mammoth thing. But I like to use the little pieces that I get from making previous Waldorf dolls just so I can get more bang for my buck. And another thing you will need is Stockette, or the tubular knit, as I was mentioning in the supply list. This I just received from Weir, or Weir, W-E-I-R, I don't know how it's pronounced, Dolls and Crafts. And this is my first time purchasing this type of, or Stockette from them. I normally use this kind. And then you can tell that there is a great difference between the two. Well, first of all, the width's larger. I usually use a larger width than this. But, and in the color. But there's also a difference in thickness. This is much more thin. This reminds me of the type of gauze you would use when you get an owie. Sorry for the toddler talk, but that's what it is. And some people do use medical grade gauze. I'm not like in a tubular knit. That works perfectly too. If you have access to that and don't want to buy something like this online, just go to your local pharmacy and pick some up. If you can get it in the tubular knit, I totally would recommend it. But today I'm going to use what I usually use, this, or because it's the last of it, and I have to find some more. I don't even remember where I bought this. That's terrible. So you need the Stockette, and then you will also need your, hey there, it's not your turn. You'll also need your doll skin, and I chose this wonderful, lovely cocoa color, and I bought it from Weir, which is on the cheaper end of the cost spectrum when it comes to the cotton interlock / tricot skin tones for a Waldorf doll, because the best I've come across is from a maker in the Netherlands. It's lush stuff and it comes in a multitude of beautiful skin tones, but I don't have the time to wait a month before you know, ordering from them and waiting for my shipment to arrive. So I chose Weir. You'll also need matching thread. This is Gutermann's 100% cotton. Usually you want to get the thread that matches your skin tone. This doesn't match. It's a gift. I'm pretty sure the kid's not going to freak out and say, oh my god, the thread doesn't match the skin. They don't care. It's just something new to play with. Because I can't find my thread for this. I think I ran out. So it's not the end of the universe if it doesn't match exactly. You'll also need a tape measure. Nothing special. This is like 1 billion years old. As well as a 5-inch long needle. Okay, this I got at Joanns. It's nothing super special. I think it came in a 2 or 3 pack. Just something long enough for you to use. And as well as some doll hand sewing needles. They're a bit thicker. And craft thread. It's a little itty bitty thing of craft thread for you to define the cheeks and the eyes. Of course the phone rings. Sorry, I'll be right back. And I have returned. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so with that said, that was basically all of the supplies for the Waldorf head, so let's get started. So what you're going to do is you're going to take some of your batting, like I have here. Seriously. Fabric gets caught on. This thing is like a lint and fabric collector. I swear, it's like static electricity personified. into solid matter. It just collects everything. But anyway, so what you're going to do is you're going to take a strip of your batting and you're just going to go along and pull gently, just to stretch it out. Don't pull too hard to where you just end up breaking it into a little piece. That's no use to you. So you're just going to pull it, and then what this does is that it'll make it stick better to itself. Now I know some people at this point like to actually tie a knot like so, then tie it again like so, and tie it, and you know, 2, 3, 4 times, whatever, you know, floats their boat, to start off making the core of their heads. I have always been a wrapper. That's just my comfort zone. Oh, I guess I should have put in a little disclaimer. I'm a lefty. So yeah, if that really affects you, I'm so sorry. But anyway, I've been a wrapper, so what I usually do myself, this works for me. If this doesn't work for you, use the knot method. Either way works, just find what's comfortable for you. It doesn't have to be exactly what I do or anybody else shows you. Take and pick whatever you need from whatever you see or read and make it your own. But anyway, I'm usually a wrapper, and what I do is I take one end of the piece of wool and I put it, there's a little tail, here in between my 4 fingers, and I just wrap it around and pull a little bit gently and wrap it. Pull a little bit more, then I slip that off my fingers, and then I start wrapping around in the middle, kind of like making a little bow like that. And then I just start rolling it and going around and forming this little ball. As I'm rolling it, and you also see that I'm still pulling it a little thinner, and I'm going around, rolling it around, trying to get it at different angles. Like so. And as I keep going around over and over and over, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Eventually it will start looking like a circle. Right now it's starting to look like a piece of shellfish pasta, like shell pasta. There we go, we're getting that ball shape now. And as I'm doing this, I'm pulling it as taut as I can before breaking it. See, that's what happens when I pull too hard. It just breaks into a little piece. And I'm still going around, and now it's just this little bit that I just want to get rid of. And there you go. You have, yeah, see, that fell off too. Useless. You're fired. Anyway, so now you have this little ball. That's how all Waldorf dolls start, as a little bitty teeny weeny egg of wool. That's it. And from this point, what you want to do is you're gonna rip off another piece. Some people just like use really huge chunky pieces and stretch it, like just tug it, pull it so it gets super long. Just make sure you don't pull it to the point where it breaks. And then they start wrapping around the ball, like so. Just keep rolling it around, making sure you go around all angles. I don't know if you can tell, but usually eventually I end up with, wait, am I in front of it? Yeah, I end up with kind of like this cross thing. And what I like to do is think of it like pizza, like how I'm cutting pizza into eighths. So I started off going this way, then I just wrapped it around this way. So I'm gonna bring it over here, and the next time I come around, I'm gonna bring it over there and repeat. That's just how my weird brain works. in order for me to remember to not go around the same area more than once, to make sure it's evenly distributed across the whole ball. Now when it comes to how tight you should pull, that totally depends upon you. It needs to just be tight enough to where it sticks to itself and doesn't start to unravel as soon as you let the ball go. I am one for liking a really hard head. But it doesn't have to be so hard for you. But I do really, really like a really nice, hard core. I don't like it too squishy. I don't know. That's just my preference. Some people really like squishy faces. If you want a squishy face, go for squishy face. Okay, so now as you can see, it's getting a little bigger. I made another one, but it's not as big. Okay, so we'll just keep going. I was going to be all like, oh, look, and here's a bigger one. But it looks pretty much the exact same size. So we'll just keep going with this one. And we're wrapping. Okay, I'm not a beatboxer. I should stop doing that. That is so dorky. This is supposed to be a professional video. But whatever. It's really quiet. This is a really meditative process. So I always highly recommend that you have something playing in the background. Like you can do this part while watching your favorite TV show or listening to music, having some quiet time with yourself. I've actually wrapped doll heads while taking my daughter, while sitting on the bench at the park where my daughter plays on the playground. Like that's what I love about this, is that you don't have to confine yourself to one space. You can do this anywhere. I wouldn't recommend it over food though. I just wouldn't, because stuff, as you can see, like this little stuff, like it just sheds. So be prepared to be covered in wool stuffing before the end of this. All right, now I'm not wrapping it so tight. I'm not pulling it. Now we can get a little looser with how I'm wrapping this. Okay, not that loose. See what I mean by it exploding? So maybe a little tougher. Just a little. Towards the end. Okay. And you just continue to repeat this process. The rip. Oh, that was a really terrible rip. The rip and pull. Seriously, this piece of fabric just won't stop trying to cling to... Oh, that was too hard. Fail. Don't worry, we'll use that piece later. Yeah, this is too thick. There we go, that's better. So you're going to continue to rip a huge chunk off, pull it, and keep wrapping. Alright, I'm going to keep doing this, but to save you from complete and utter boredom, I'm going to click this off and add in some clever fade in or something when I'm all done doing this part, okay? Yeah, as soon as I finish this. Awkward. My timing is terrible. All right, I'll be right back, I promise. Peace.